Thirsty on an island. Simon was shipwrecked and washed up on the shore of a deserted island. He's thirsty, and the only thing he has is a plastic bag and a straw. After looking around, he sees a juicy cactus, a tall leafy tree, a dirty pond, a pool of mud. How can he use the plastic bag to get water? He can't use the cactus. It can be toxic, and without a sharp tool to reach the pulp, the plastic bag is useless. The dirty pond and muddy pool are filled with bacteria and parasites, and without tools to start a fire and boil the water, he could get sick. The best bet is the tall, leafy tree. He simply needs to tie the bag on the edge of a branch and pierce it slightly with a stick. The tree will produce drinkable water through transpiration. Well, that's clever. Where's the waiter? Adam is the head waiter at a one-story steakhouse. On the busiest night of the week, he vanished, and the owner called the police to file a missing persons report. Detectives talked to the last 3 people who saw him. A trainee server said she only saw him when he got to work and parked his bicycle. The chef said he saw the waiter in the kitchen when he came to get a glass of orange juice. The cook said he last saw the waiter going upstairs. After the statements, the police arrested the cook. Why? This was a one-story restaurant. He couldn't have gone upstairs. Spilling the tea. Susie went to study for her university exam at a coffee shop. She ordered a white tea and sat down. 10 minutes later, she got up to go to the bathroom. When she returned, her laptop wouldn't turn on and her teacup was empty. Someone had spilled the tea on her computer and cleaned it up. She called the manager, told him what happened, and they came up with 3 suspects. The barista said he had been swamped and didn't see anything. The supervisor said he was sorry that the milky tea spilled on the computer, and he could see if insurance would cover the cost. The head barista said he was sorry the milky tea spilled on her laptop, and he'd make her another one while they waited for the police to arrive. Immediately, the store manager knew who did it. It was the supervisor. He couldn't have known that the tea had milk in it since it was cleaned up. The only person who remembered the order was the one who prepared it. The missing phone. We're at the coffee shop again. This time, Stuart forgot his phone on the table when he left. But once he realized and came back, his phone was gone. He saw a guy running outside the store, and Stuart chased him. When he caught him, Stuart said, "I've lost my device. Did you take it by accident?" The man replied, "I have no idea where your phone is, sir. I was just grabbing coffee." Stuart immediately called the police. Why? Stuart told him he lost his device. That could have been anything from a smartwatch to a camera or something else. The guy couldn't have known it was a phone unless he took it. Where did the baker go? The Cupcakes Den is a local shop that became famous for its tasty, well, you guessed it, cupcakes. On Monday morning, the head baker vanished, and the shop couldn't deliver the 200 cupcakes they had promised for a birthday party. The owner called the police, and they had 3 suspects in their custody. The helper said he had gone out to buy more frosting, but when he returned, the baker was gone. The waiter said he had been cleaning the shop of the massive mess from making the 200 cupcakes. The manager said he was meeting with a new supplier to get more beef jerky at the shop. The detectives knew who was lying. Can you guess it? It's the manager. Who needs beef jerky at a cupcake shop? Get the last question right. Adam was taking part in a brain teaser TV game show, and he had one last question to answer before winning $50,000. He was tired and decided to call his best friend Luke to help him. The host asked, "If you could rearrange the order of the letters in this word, ACIPCIF, what does it show? A country, a city, a large mountain, or an ocean?" Luke answered correctly. Can you? An ocean. If you unscramble the word, it shows Pacific. Where's he hiding? Martin vanished one morning and his family called the police. Detectives searched everywhere and questioned 15 people, but none of them gave any untruthful answers. His son Jake found a letter from his dad saying, "If you love me, you'll find me." He went to his father's office to see if he could find any clues. He was looking around the room and immediately knew where his father was hiding. Can you guess it? On the wall, there's a picture frame with his dad's cabin, and it's got a hand-drawn circle on it. He must be there. Lost in an underwater cave. Sarah just got her certificate as a cave diver. She decided to spend her afternoon exploring some dangerous underwater ocean caves. While turning left and right, she got lost. She didn't have enough time to look for her way back and continued swimming further. That was when she came across 3 openings. Through the first, there were 45 hungry piranhas. Through the second, a great white shark. And through the last one, a giant box jellyfish. Which is the safest path? The first one. Piranhas are freshwater fish. They can't survive in salt water. The van. Susan was outside watering her plants when she noticed 3 people dressed in black clothing carrying electronic devices from her neighbor's home. She asked them what they were doing, and they said they were from a moving company. Immediately, Susan called the police. Why? There were no license plates on the van, and movers don't only carry electronic equipment, but all sorts of stuff. The prison escape. One morning, Detective Smith was called into a maximum security prison to discover how 3 men had managed to escape from their cells. The prisoners could neither see nor talk to each other, but they arranged their escape together. They went to the shower room at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and only one person was allowed in at different periods. How did they manage to communicate and escape? They wrote messages to each other on the bathroom mirrors, used steam to read them, and planned their escape together. The villa disappearance. It was a cold, rainy weekend. Michael, Susie, Amara, and Luke were spending Saturday and Sunday together playing board games. On Saturday morning, when they woke up, Amara was missing. They looked everywhere for her but couldn't find her. That was when Luke called the police. Detectives examined the room and asked everybody what they were doing at 4 a.m. Luke said he couldn't sleep, so he went downstairs to the gaming room to play some online games. Michael said he couldn't sleep either, so he went outside to look at the stars. Susie said she followed Michael outside to get some fresh air. That was when the detectives figured out who was lying. Michael and Susie. It was a rainy weekend, remember? The cursed photo. Alan was on his final stretch to becoming a detective. He passed a bunch of assessments until he reached the last one. This was where his attention to detail skills would be tested. The chief of police handed Alan a photo. He told him, "This is Michael. He's having a birthday party. But something in this photo is very eerie." Alan spotted it in 2 seconds. Can you? There's a hand inside the blue balloon. Well, how did it get there? The right amount of water. Peter was the best problem solver in his class. One day, his chemistry teacher called him up to test his intelligence and inspire his peers. He gave Peter 3 glass jugs. None of them had any measuring markings on them, but just a label showing their maximum capacity. The first jug was filled with water up to the top, and the label read 8 liters. The second was empty, and its label showed 5 liters. The third was also empty, with a maximum capacity of 3 liters. The teacher told Peter to arrange the liquid so that only 2 liters remained in one glass jug without using any measuring tools. Peter figured out how to do it in 4 seconds. First, he needs to fill the 5-liter jug all the way to the top. Then he needs to pour the water from the 5-liter jug into the 3-liter jar until it's full. What remains in the 5-liter jug is 2 liters. The treasure coin. An archaeologist spent the past year looking for a lost ancient treasure. As he was digging, he found one ancient gold coin. He took it to his museum. When his colleagues carefully cleaned the coin and took a closer look, they refused to accept it. Why? It reads 100 BCE on the back. Ancient people didn't know they lived in that era. Or did they? No, they didn't. Hey, are you an expert in brands? Choose the correct logo and get 1 point for each right answer. Level. Easy peasy. Both apples are half-eaten, but which one is eaten the right way? Ah, I see. I start eating apples from that side too. Can you figure out which one is the NASA logo? Aha! No yellow color around the blue meatball. Got it. A little twittering bird, but which one? Yeah, because the one on the left looks too fluffy. Do you know what the Rolex logo looks like? This crown definitely looks the crocodile on the left or the crocodile on the right. That is the question. Right. No wonder I thought the crocodile on the left looks too bumpy to decorate your polo shirt. I'm sure you'll deal with this one hands down. And, of course, the real Adidas logo is on the left. I won't give you any hints, but I know the answer. Nee. Told you so. Ah, this is a tough one. Gotta go and check my wardrobe. Or is it cheating? So, Huma's big feline is jumping to the left. Ah, good to know. Something is off with one of these logos, but you gotta puzzle it out on your own. Yeah, Citroën has 2, not 3 upward-facing arrows on its logo. Ah, this one is simple. I didn't even have any doubts. I guess you need to do your laundry yourself to know the right logo for this washing powder, huh? So, green at the top, red at the bottom. Got it. So, which logo looks more familiar? The famous car manufacturer opted for the first logo. They both look okay to me. So, which one? Less red, more blue. I see. Level? Tricky. It's a pity I'm more of a tea person. I knew this one looked more familiar. Well, I'm not an expert in gas and oil, but I might know the answer. And I was right. This one is indeed tricky. Now I know what the logo of my favorite pizza place looks like. Do you know which logo this famous electronics company has? Oh, it was a lucky guess. The difference between these logos is tiny, but one of them is wrong. The one on the left represents the world-known software and computer manufacturer, Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola. And the answer is Coca-Cola. Just kidding. The first logo is the correct one. Yummy! I'm sure you'll get this one right. Uh-oh, I thought this logo was a bit wavier. Now, we'll find out how often you watch MTV. It turns out I watch it often enough. They look the same to me. Oh, I see the difference now, but it's too late. Duh. Red, white, blue versus red, white, blue. Tough choice. If you pick the logo on the left, you're absolutely right. I'm not sure about this one. Do you know the answer? I knew the logo on the right was the one. Social media fans, use your superpowers. Who would have thought? I'm not an Insta person. Ha! I've used this service often enough to know the right logo. It's the one on the left. Level? Mind-boggling. Wow, they weren't kidding about mind-boggling. Okay, the right logo is the one on the left. Got that? Do you like making and sharing short videos? Then you must know which TikTok logo is the right one. Did you pick the one on the left? Then you totally nailed it. How often do you eat burgers? Let's check. It seems I should treat myself to burgers more often. Oh no, colors again? Wow, that was a tough one. You mean I had to keep in mind the color of his bow? Apparently, I'm good at distinguishing colors. Was your guess correct? I've been to Subway hundreds of times. Never knew their logo can be so confusing. The one on the right. My intuition didn't let me down. And now, you want me to choose between two blue colors? Wicked. First, the darker blue, then the lighter. That's the right logo. You must be kidding me! The logo on the right seemed more familiar, and no wonder, it's the correct logo. Wait, are they even different? I see. They decided to make the robot's antenna as simple as possible. I use this messenger often enough to know the correct logo. Oops. I was sure it was the one on the left. KFC and its logo. Do you remember which is the one? It's the logo on the left. Look at the apron and the stripes on it. Wide stripes or thin ones? The correct logo has narrow stripes. They're both colorful and pretty. I cheated by Googling the Google logo. No pun intended. Are you ready to see how well you've done? Here you go. If you've got 0 to 13 points, you probably don't pay much attention to brands. The most important thing for you is how well whatever you need works. If your score is 14 to 26 points, you often buy branded things, but you don't care enough to remember what their logos look like. If you have 27 to 39 points, brands and logos are likely to play an important role in your life. You also have a sharp eye and pay close attention to the smallest details. Alright, let's see how good you are at remembering details. Take a close look at the images. After 7 seconds, one element will be gone. Your task is to name it. You get 1 point for each correct answer. Let's start with an easy one to warm up your brain. Just a peaceful alpine landscape interrupted by a speed train. Okay, I hope you had enough time to remember it in detail. What is missing now? The bottom of the girl's staff is gone, so I guess it's useless now. Moving on. 2 noble knights are trying to win over the princess's heart. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm sure something is missing in this image. Oh no, the princess has lost her beautiful tiara. Next. Looks like a typical day at some startup's office. Sure, they wouldn't mind some changes. And there you go. One of the plants is missing. Now they can just use it as another coffee mug. How about this one? This bus must be headed to that startup's office from the previous picture. Now, what's the difference between the two images? One of the girls is missing glasses. Did you notice it? These guys must be having a heck of a time. What if we change something here? Voila! What's missing? It's a tricky one. Looks like some of the ports on the back of the TV set are now missing. I wonder if they can still play their games without those. I'm feeling hungry. Time to go grocery shopping. So many things to choose from. And now one of them is gone. I know. A milk carton on the top shelf went missing. Must have landed in someone's shopping cart. 3 friends went on a safari. They saw some rhinos, hippos, and whatnot. And then, in the blink of an eye, something was different about that African landscape. Do you see it? One of the guys has lost his travel mat. A hippo will definitely take good care of it. Something's always going on at the airport. 1 second, and it's all different. The guy in the back should have kept an eye on his belongings. His briefcase is gone. Buying flowers for someone you love is always a good idea. This little shop has an impressive choice, but that might be about to change. Whoa, I was looking at the flowers, but the missing detail here is one of the bricks. Surprise, surprise! That's one happy girl. Looks like she just finished decorating her apartment. It looks perfect, except one detail is missing now. It's the middle line on one of the vases. That moment you arrive at college on your classy new motorbike, nothing can possibly go wrong. Well, it did, as one item is missing in this image. Can you tell what it is? It's the clock, a good excuse for being late to class. All aboard the pirate ship, the oceans are awaiting. Aye, but first, let's find one detail that's missing here. That was a tricky one. Jolly Roger is definitely missing here, and a pirate is not a pirate without it. The hat is called a tricorn, by the way. Let's move from a pirate ship back to big city life. The passengers are all going somewhere, and who knows what's going to happen the next moment. Can you tell what's different now? Found it! The girl's backpack is missing a handle. That's one lucky guy. Looks like he got the golden ticket. Oops, and now something is missing here. Hope it's not the lucky golden ticket. It's the minute hand on that wall clock in the back. Did you spot it? I'm getting hungry. Again. Hope this guy can help me out with some pasta or whatever he's cooking out there. Except, something is off here now. I hope it doesn't slow down the cooking process. Yep, one of the tomatoes is missing. Gotta find it and put it back. Now, let's spice things up a bit. you'll be looking for 2 missing details in every image, not 1. Someone has a car to fix at this auto repair shop. Try to remember every detail. It's the little things that matter. And now, can you find 2 details that are missing? It's the red cap on the canister and one of the crosses on the chalkboard. Moving on to the next image. Just a typical classroom where not every student is equally excited about what's going on. Now, what's missing here? The guy in the red hoodie won't write much without a pencil. And the girl in the back has a new hairstyle now. Her ponytail is gone. Everybody has their idea of a perfect morning. See that guy sleeping right on the lawn? That would be me. But everything is about to change here. And voila! 2 things are missing. Can you name them? One of the balls is now missing, as well as that tower on top of one of the skyscrapers. Ready for the next one? Looks like this guy has just inherited a good amount of money. But what is this mess all about? Anyway, your task is to find the 2 missing pieces of this puzzle. The bottle that used to be right here on the bookshelf is gone. And one of the spots on the window followed it. It looks better now. Time for another one. This couple must be headed home for the weekend while their less fortunate colleague has to stay in the office. They're waving goodbye to him and 2 details that were in the picture. One of the notes is gone, and the lucky guy just lost some blush off of his cheek. Did you notice that? This guy sure has a lot of books to read. 3, 2, 1, and something is gone. I knew it. It was the book right here and this whole pile on the top shelf. This image seems peaceful and simple, but just wait. Are you sure something has changed? It looks exactly the same to me. Oh, right! I can see that the horse is missing its plow, and the tree has lost most of its leaves. I gotta admit, things are getting trickier and trickier. Your new task is to find 3 missing objects. Looks like these guys can't decide who has to clean up today. Let's see if moving things around a bit can help them. So, the note on the fridge is missing, the bucket no longer casts a shadow, and the dishwashing liquid is gone. These ladies seem so sweet. Can you help them find 3 missing elements in their portrait? Well, you can't pour any water out of this watering can. And one of the ladies has lost 2 elements of her adorable smile. The mountains are calling, and I must go. But before I join this guy, you gotta name the 3 things missing in this new image. There are no more knots on the backpack, and the guy has lost his bangs. And look at that mountaintop, it's completely different now. I can't tell if they're playing some game or trying to catch a bat in their backyard. Anyway, the task remains the same for you. Only the most attentive of you must have noticed the glass is now empty. One door is missing a handle, and the plant right here is missing one of its leaves. Want to go horse riding? Oh no, things are all messed up now. Can you bring them back to normal? The horse is missing a part of its bridle. One of the apples must have fallen off the tree. And that tiny window in the back is gone. Congrats! You've reached the Champions level. You'll see images moving on the screen. Your task will be to name one detail that's off. Let's start with an easy one. It seems perfectly normal, but there must be something wrong here. There's no river on the other side of the bridge. Next, please. I know. The wind can't be blowing in different directions. What about this one? So many details to consider. I hope you notice what's wrong here. The traffic light has no red. Must be pretty chaotic out there. And another one for you to figure out. This street doesn't look nearly as busy as the previous one. This one seems just fine to me. Can you tell what's not okay in this image? There can't be two suns in the sky. So, if you got over 20 points, you have an incredibly sharp eye. You could start a career as a detective, unless you already have one. If you've got 10 to 20 points, your visual memory is better than that of most people. You're attentive to details, and it helps you a lot. If you got less than 10 points, you tend to see the big picture rather than the little things. If it worries you, try solving more visual riddles. Here's an easy one to warm up. Can you find the one and only B among these twos? Oh, it's right there. One of the many sevens here is a Z. Do you see it? Good job! There's one letter S hiding between all these fives. Excellent, it's right here. How about this one? I won't tell you the odd one out letter this time. You have to find it yourself. Yay! It's a C. Here's a bunch of Q's. 3 of these letters aren't like the rest of them. Can you find them all? Done! There are 3 O's here, and I'm sure you managed to find them all. 3 of these letters don't belong here because they are nothing like the others. Do you see them? There are 3 W's. Can you find 3 8s here? Got them. I need a pen to keep track of my points. Can you help me find one here? Thanks so much for helping me out. I think I need a little snack, but I'm allergic to apples. Do you think you could help me find a pear here? Here it is. I'd like to top it with pineapple. Yum, so good and fresh. Quiz time. Do you know what a hexagon is? Yep, it's a plane figure with 6 straight sides and angles. And one of those is hiding right here. Found it! You deserve a little something for all of your efforts. Can you find it among these hearts? Yay! It's an apple for you! Moving up, here's a bunch of golden eggs, and one of them is somehow different from the rest. Do you see it? I'm impressed. How about a slice of pizza? It's yours if you can find the odd one out. Well done! I think these roosters can wake up an entire village. One of them stands out though. Can you see it? Yay! It's hiding right here. One of these apples is definitely more delicious than others. You'll see it yourself when you find it. Success! Time for a more substantial meal. Find the fried egg that's not like the others. They're all exactly the same. Just kidding. It's this one on the right. Here's a task for those who can read between the lines or through layers of color. Let's see if you're one of them. That was an easy one. It's the word fame. How about this one? Wow, I'm impressed. And it's also the correct answer. Next, please. I think it's the word list, and it's correct. Can you figure this one out? The answer here is ill. And here's the trickiest of them all. I believe you can make it. Did you see it was bog? Now let's go on a little safari. Can you spot the hedgehog? Here it is, hiding in the corner. One of these seals is in fact a kitten. Do you see it? Hello there, little one. Do you think a coyote is good company for kangaroos? I think it's safer to find it before they get in trouble. Good job! A little hamster ran away from home. It's hiding somewhere at the farmer's market. Help it find its way back. Thanks for saving it. You were trying to capture the landscape, but a seagull got in. Can you find it to crop it out of the image? Well, looks like it won't work out since it's almost in the middle. 3 images here are exactly the same, and one of them stands out. Can you name it? Knew it was this one. There's an extra wolf here. What about these giraffe portraits? Ouch! This one's missing its ears. Look at these beautiful wild cats. They sort of look the same to me, but one picture is different from others. It's this one. Here are some penguins in their natural habitat. Can you spot the odd one out? Only this picture here has an iceberg in it. Time to hit the beach. But first, find 5 differences between these two pictures. Blue instead of red here, white car, palm tree, a parasol, oh, and an extra roof here. While you're figuring out what game they're playing, find 5 differences between the images. Well done! Whoa, not so fast! Do you see how the picture on the right is different from the one on the left? Sure, you got them all! These houses look identical to me, but are they really? Nope, they are different in 5 details. Did you spot them all? The view from these balloons must be something. The pictures are different in 5 ways. Can you name them all? I didn't expect the yellow balloon to change its color. The way you see certain images can tell a lot about your personality. What does this one look like to you? If it looks like a lion to you, you're a well-balanced, positive, and cheerful person. You make friends easily, as you have an open mind and soul. You love sharing jokes and make everyone feel comfortable around you. You never give up and believe everything happens for the best. If you see a hand in this image, looks like you're an artist at heart, or maybe that's your real job. You have your own vision of the world, and you can always find the most creative solution to any problem. You don't mix with new people easily and only have a couple of real friends, but they're for life. What do you think about this one? If it's an apple to you, you take things for what they are and are pretty happy with what you have in life. You know you can always rely on your close people, and they'll support you no matter what. You're always in a good mood, and you pass it on to others. If you saw 2 profiles here first, relationships are your big priority in life. You might be going through a time of uncertainty with someone special to you. Remember, the best you can do is discuss it together and not hold it all in your heart. Things will surely get better. This one seems pretty obvious, but there must be a double meaning. If you see the jungle here, you're a natural explorer. Boredom is what you fear the most. You always want to try new things and go to new places. When someone offers to join them on an adventure, you never ask for details and just say yes. If you saw the face first, your home means the world to you. You feel most comfortable inside your own little fortress. You enjoy decorating it to make it even cozier. If you have to choose between a night out and staying at home, it'll always be your own home and the people that make it so dear to you. Now take a look at the next image. What comes to your mind first? If it's a crown, you like to be the center of attention. You feel great giving speeches and performing on stage. You love to see the impression you leave on others, and you need that energy to be happy. keep getting better at what you do, and the stage will always be yours. If you noticed a nice lady with her eyes closed first, you aren't too shy, but you feel more comfortable out of the spotlight. You sometimes think others are more talented or have more important things to say than you do, so you make way for them. Remember, you also deserve attention. Moving on, how about this image? If you see a face here, you always see the big picture and can get a grip on any situation quickly. You analyze things in your mind and make the right conclusions. If it's a picture of the city with a lonely girl in the distance to you, you have a talent for seeing the details. You know the little things matter, and you have great taste and make this world a more beautiful place. Hey, gangway everyone, the insects are on the move. The fastest butterfly to flutter around is the skipper. These creatures can achieve speeds of up to 37 miles per hour and have some excellent quick reflexes. And speeding next to it is a fully grown horse. Not a horsefly, but a horse. It's galloping next to the skipper at the same speed. A cute little ladybug is in the way. Move, or you get trampled. The horse is getting closer, but the ladybug lifts off and flies right next to them, overtaking both the skipper and horse. Then it decides to land on the horse's head for the rest of the race. Even though ladybugs can fly at a maximum speed of around 37 miles per hour, they usually remain in the air for a couple of minutes. They can even fly as high as 3,600 feet in altitude. The horse is in the lead now. The skipper decides to land right on the horse's head next to the ladybug. It sticks its head to the tip of the horse's snout, automatically taking the lead. Hey, that's cheating! The desert floor is scorching under the burning sun. No wonder the Saharan silver ant is the fastest on Earth. It can even lift hundreds of times its own weight. If Usain Bolt, the fastest man on Earth, can run 4 strides per second, this tiny ant can run 50. If you look closely, you can even see its tiny legs gallop at high speeds. It reaches speeds of 2 miles per hour, which may not seem like anything if you're a giant human glancing from above. But down below, they're the speed leaders of the ant world. Out of nowhere, another bug sprints right by it, leaving a dust storm behind. It's the Australian tiger beetle, and it's one of the fastest land insects on Earth, and it can run at more than 4 miles per hour. Some beetles of the same species are even faster and run at around 6 miles per hour. Don't worry about its wings, they're just for decoration. It doesn't even fly. It doesn't need to. Yikes, a cockroach! These creatures can run up to 3 miles per hour. A little house mouse pops out of a corner and starts chasing the roach. These little critters can run up to 8 miles per hour. But the roach drifts and slides and creeps into little corners to outrun the mouse. A kitty cat leaps from the shelf and joins the chase, reaching 30 miles per hour. The cockroach and the mouse sneak escape outside. The cat goes back to licking itself and plotting against everyone. Centipedes don't have 100 legs, but they're still pretty creepy and rather fast. Millipedes, however, are really slow and don't even qualify for this race. Centipedes are carnivores and use venom to help catch prey, while millipedes feed on leftovers, plants, and veggies. When in danger, they just curl up into a ball. The centipede crawls ahead, thinking it's winning the race. The millipede rolls down the hill and overtakes the centipede. It passes the cockroach, who's still getting chased by the mouse. The downhill ends with a ramp, so the millipede rolls down and bounces up into the sky. A dragonfly can hit the 35-mile-per-hour mark flying, but the millipede soars past. A hawk moth flies through and catches up to the dragonfly. It can fly at the same speed, but the dragonfly overtakes it. They reach the forest and are zigzagging through the branches and leaves. They're both flying like alien ships in outer space, dodging all obstacles. The millipede lands on a tree branch and continues walking. A tiger moth caterpillar moves ahead of it at 3 miles per hour. The millipede curls up into a ball and hides out for the rest of the race. But the branch it landed on is moving. It's actually a stick insect, and even though they can't run fast, they can grow about 13 inches long. Underneath it, there's a fairy fly, which is considered to be the smallest insect in the world, being only 0.005 inches in size. That's even smaller than a mustard seed. It sprints on the tree branch and tries to outrun the stick insect. The dragonfly and the hawk moth are head-to-head. It's almost impossible to spot them in the thick forest, but the fastest animal on Earth swifts past them all at almost lightning speed. A bumblebee can fly at 33 miles per hour and flap its wings around 200 times per second. The honeybee can fly at 20 miles per hour and flap its wings up to 230 times per second. They speed through the flowers. The millipede is still curled up, hiding next to a couple of leaves and branches. The bumblebee takes the lead and is almost at the end of the field, but a giant Asian hornet pops out of nowhere and chases it back to the start. A giant Asian hornet can fly up to 25 miles per hour and is pretty aggressive. It starts gaining on it, but a bat appears out of thin air and swoops down on it, scaring it away. The horse with the skipper and ladybug run right next to the bees and they start flying down a hill. Out of nowhere, the millipede starts rolling down past the horse and lands on a log floating in the middle of a lake. On the surface are thousands of tiny water striders that can reach speeds up to 100 body lengths per second. If a 6-foot person were swimming, it could cover around 400 miles in an hour. Some frogs start chasing the water striders and easily pass them. A Goliath frog can weigh up to 7 pounds and jump as far as 10 feet forward. Some freshwater crabs swim quite slowly, but use their little legs to move from one rock to another. A swimming whirligig beetle tries to escape from the frogs paddling at an impressive 3 miles per hour. These tiny bugs have natural paddle-shaped feet in the middle and hind legs. A bunch of grasshoppers get startled and fly away. They're actually flyers, but their powerful legs give them the height they need instead of taking off from the ground. When in the air, they can reach speeds up to 8 miles per hour. They're on par with the house mouse, which has finally overtaken the cockroach. A flea isn't much of a sprinter, but it can hop its own body size by a lot. If humans could jump like fleas, then we'd be able to jump to the Empire State Building, which is 1,450 feet high, including its antenna. It wins the title for highest hopper around with the relative size. A mosquito can fly as fast as 1 mile per hour, while a typical housefly can reach 5. The housefly swifts past the mosquitoes and takes the lead to bother and buzz around you. But a bigger superfly, horsefly, flies by at 90 miles per hour. It outflies the housefly and mosquito and starts doing laps around them. Tiny mites are no bigger than a sesame seed, but they can run 322 body lengths per second. To put that into human perspective, it's the equivalent of someone running around 1,300 miles per hour. It zips through the whole race and has been running with everyone since the beginning, but we couldn't see it. The horse keeps running and ends up near traffic, miles away from the finish line. Is a giant house spider that can run at 1.2 miles per hour. A big Texas brown tarantula can be pretty speedy, depending on the temperature. The cooler it is, the slower but more stable they walk. When the temperature increases, they run faster but less coordinated. These hairy beasts are around 2 inches long and move about 4 body lengths per second at 62 degrees, and 10 body lengths when it's hotter. Most insects are right at the end of the race. The horsefly and the bat are head-to-head, but the hornet is catching up. The tiger beetle on the ground is lightning speed away. They're close to the finish line. The frog leaps in front and almost catches up with the rest. A surprise swoop from the dragonfly and hawk moth overtakes the hornet. It's too hard to tell, but the millipede rolls past everyone and claims the gold.